In a region where leadership was seen to be for a selected few and only those who had connections, a continent where the church was losing its place of relevance and pastors were giving up on their calling, a ray of hope was brought in when we began hosting the Global Leadership Summit. For the past 13 years, the GLS has become a panacea for bad leadership and a platform that provides adequate tools and resources for the church and people from different sectors. We can testify that the bar of excellence in leadership is being raised as people from different ages and social status are being influenced to make positive impact in their communities and countries because of the impact of the summit. Here are some of the stories of impact from some of our participants that have participated in previous GLS events as they were inspired to transform their communities.
I started attending the Global Leadership Summit about 8 years ago at my church, House of Grace in Lagos, Nigeria. Prior to my first GLS, I had the desire to be the Accountant General of the Federation, but it all changed when I attended my first GLS in October 2012. One of the speakers spoke directly to me when she said so passionately that we must be people that add value and contribute to other people's lives and the community. I left the summit pondering on how I could immediately act on what I had just heard. Then I decided that since I was great with figures, I can use it to make a difference. So in May 2013, I held the first Ose Young Talent Brain Quest with about 80 people in attendance. The Ose Brain Quest Foundation is an educational initiative committed to impacting strong academic values in young people by providing the platform where creative and logical capabilities of students can be stimulated and developed, particularly for those in primary and secondary levels of both private and public schools. Today, the story has changed. From one mental quest with about 80 students in attendance, we have grown to hosting 2 competitions, Ose Brain Quest and Smart competitions annually. And at the last edition in 2019, we had over 1,000 students in attendance from about 35 schools. We have also given several scholarships and awards, and we provide extra after-school classes for students. This year, 2020, we would have the 10th edition, and we know it will be even bigger. We strongly believe that every child is a champion and has influence. So when you invest in the education, you invest in all. In the midst of the religious crisis and terrorism, the Global Leadership Summit is transforming and giving hope to leaders and churches in northern Nigeria. It had always been on my mind to add value and be an influence. Then my attention was drawn to a particular tribe in Taraba State, in the northern eastern region of Nigeria, Mumuye. This is the largest tribe in the state, and they have an age-long tradition and live in extreme poverty. They do not see the need to educate their children, as the parents have an erroneous belief that the children are needed more on the farm than at school. I really wanted to help them, but I needed resources and support to do this. At the GLS in 2016, I got the tools I needed to kick off this initiative and bring my dreams to reality. I was inspired by the grander vision of Liz Bohannon, and after the summit, I went to work. I went to the people of Mumuye tribe. I had discussions with the parents and conducted several one-on-one interviews with some of the children to see if they were willing to be educated. I met several obstacles, but today we have enrolled some of these children in our school, Full Fruits Academy, at the elementary level. In addition, we also provide students with school supplies. We started with 10 children, having 3 sponsors for 6 children, and currently we have 20 children under scholarship. This initiative has begun to show light in this community. in such a way that parents who do not want their children to go to school are now eager to enroll their children. We are working at getting more sponsors so that we can accommodate more children. Also, our plan for those that graduate from elementary school is to engage them in a skill acquisition program so that they can begin to save towards their next level of education. This simple initiative has become a reality because I attended the GLS and applied what I learned. Thanks to GLS for the impact it is making all over the world.
I got involved in the Global Leadership Summit in 2009 as a facilitator and a member of the local organizing team, and I have had the opportunity to attend the live event at South Barrington in 2016 and 2017. Before the GLS, I was only exposed to some leadership things that I have learned on leadership in the university and local training and seminars. After attending the live event in 2016, stories of great things I had heard at the GLS from participants of other nations blew my mind, and this motivated me to look around my community to see what opportunities were available for me to work on to make an impact. I prayed to God to give me a grander vision that would make an impact and touch our generation for God's glory, and we came up with the Free School Initiative. The initiative involves bringing in our humble contribution to educate the children of the less privileged, the forgotten members of the society, victims of insurgency, internally displaced persons, the vulnerable, and extremely poor people. Through this initiative, we have opened 5 schools, 2 in Gombe State, 1 each in our neighboring states of Bauchi, Yobe, and Plateau. We currently have 780 children in these schools, with about 45 paid teachers and volunteers working to power the great vision. With support and learning from the summits, we are making the basic literacy education available and affordable to children. Indeed, true leaders are servant leaders who are all about serving the needs of others.
The Global Leadership Summit is so contagious. Once you are in, you never want to opt out, except you are not a value-added driven person. My first encounter with the GLS was on invitation to serve on the board of directors for GLS Liberia. At this time, I was working in government as the Deputy Director for Administration at the State Radio National Broadcaster, ELBC. In 2016, I was invited to join the Liberia team to attend the summit in Willow Creek, Chicago, USA, and it was a baptism by fire of sorts for me. I was totally hooked on the summit. The theme, Lead Where You Are, struck me so hard that I was ready to make a change at my workplace, as at that time my workplace was noted for continuous rioting and protests when it was time to change leadership. My leadership lessons gave me the confidence to take on the challenge at my workplace. As the only female manager, I could relate more to the employees by listening to their issues and helping them in finding solutions. Then I introduced one-on-one meetings, which I learned at the summit that the culture of any work environment is only as good as the leader wanted it to be. This propelled me to change the work culture, since I did not subscribe to protests and riots as a way of making change happen. Then we sent our employees to attend the GLS. They all came back different and with a change of mindset about what a workplace should look like. As the only female executive, I became their mother, peacemaker, teacher, and administrator. Our organization was transformed. We began to experience peace, unity, and team spirit. There were no more riots and protests because we seeing and doing things from a different and positive perspective. I also work with the YMCA of Liberia, and in 2018, we embarked on a new venture to create awareness on the issue of drugs and harmful substances amongst young people through the Agent of Change. The principles at the GLS have been useful for me in working with the youth because I believe that the youth is the strength of any nation. I have also experienced a change in my family with the teachings from the GLS, as it has helped me to have a better relationship with my children and to be a better parent. There is so much positivity with the GLS that even when I am down or tired, there is always one thing that brings me back on my feet. The constant and timely interactions refuel me and keep me going. As the current administrator of a school, I use the tips and lessons to speak to students in large groups, and I enjoyed the impact this is making. May God grant us all that we need to keep the GLS alive. I pray for a stronger GLS in Liberia despite all the challenges. God bless the GLS.
We are so grateful to God for the transformation that we are experiencing in our region and for the impact that is being made all over. We thank Gary Schwamline and the entire team of Global Leadership Network for their time, support, and contribution towards leadership development in our region. We want to thank all our country leaders, church leaders, partners, staff, and volunteers that work tirelessly to make the Global Leadership Summit a great success. We look forward to greater impact as we continue to raise the bar of excellence in leadership through the Global Leadership Summit.